Well, just think of all the cool things we have that just a few years back, it was considered like science fiction. I mean, I'm an old guy, so 20, 30 years ago, I mean, I was current. I was a hip young guy, and then I didn't think about wireless cell phones, right? But we got them now. Or e-books. No, I used to buy book books, but we have e-books now. Or cars that get 50 miles to the gallon. We got those now, right? Well, here's something else we have now that you won't believe is robots for like $35 that you could program whether you're a 5-year-old or a 95-year-old. That's right, your own programmable robot that you could have. And here's a guy who's developed them. And he wrote software so even a 5-year-old could understand and be able to make these robots do things. I mean, it's a toy, it's a learning experience. And what's interesting to me about it, it's a way to learn about robotics. This is going to be more and more useful in our lives. We're going to have robots doing a lot of those ugly things that we don't like doing. Now we have the vacuum cleaner robots, right? So it's going to be more and more. So the more the average person can understand the basics of how these things operate, so that you could take full advantage of the technology. And that's the importance. See, I mean, all this technology is be able to use it to our advantage or to your advantage. And if you don't understand the basics, you don't have to be, a gazillion dollar an hour programmer to be able to just understand how to do it, so you can ask somebody who really knows how to do it to do the things you want it to do, not somebody else decide what to do. It's sort of like hiring a lawyer. I mean, lawyers, could be a big problem, but you have to know when to use them, when not to use them. So robotics, everything is like that. So you have to understand the little basics of things. So you have to know when to use them. It's like having a toolbox, when to use a hammer, when to use the pliers, when to use certain things. Well, if you have to know that a hammer nails things, and that's when you do it. Or a lawyer does this, and that's when you want to do it. So robotics, it's the same thing. It's a fun new way to learn, and it's brand new about robotics. So watch this. Well, Brenton O'Brien, man, and you're going to meet, you're not only going to meet Brenton, you're going to meet Edison.com, because that's where you have, on your website, you're raising money and crowdfunding now to make everybody in the world a geek. Everyone's going to know how to program a robot, because we don't have to program if we have your little robot, right? We just hook it up to the computer and move the pictures around, and we can make that little robot do anything. And you're doing it for everybody. So you say this is for a 5-year-old to a 95-year-old?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's Lego compatible. There he is.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
So so it's got all Lego connections on the top and on the bottom and on the side, so you can build up all your Lego onto him. So it's really easy. A 5-year-old can use Lego, no problems. And then you can program it. It comes with pre-programmed features. Mm-hmm. So he actually will drive across a barcode, and the barcode will tell him to do something like follow a line or even respond.
So it comes with barcodes that you just put on the floor or something, and this will follow it along?
Yeah, you just print them out.
I see. Oh, you print them out.
Free from our website. You print them out on your computer printer, and you drive them across. And it goes off and does whatever the barcode tells him. So you can quite for a 5-year-old, they can certainly read a barcode, robot across a barcode, and then as you get older and more interested and more capable with him, you can actually program it yourself using our icon-based programming language, which is free to download, to open source software. And like you said, you're just dragging pictures across. You form a series of pictures, and he goes and does what those pictures say.
And so you can clap your hands, it'll do something. You can talk to it, it reacts to lights, it does all these things. Yeah, except make your eggs in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably join a few of them together with your Lego, and you might be able to do that too.
That will be coming soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just one. And also, besides, individually, and the most important thing about it is the price. I mean, you got this like 30, 40 bucks, for people to
That's
do,
right.
right? I mean, now, I know my kid, I got an engineer son who's like 30 or something. He was really into robotics, and he was in engineering school, and you had to belong to the club, and this thing cost thousands of dollars to use and everything.
Yep.
So now for
Yep.
40 bucks, I got a robot I can program and don't even have to know how to program.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. You get right into it. And then so $39, and that's Australian as well. So it's even cheaper than that in US dollars. It's like $37. So and then for teachers, they can get an entire class pack, 30 robots. Every single student has a robot.
I see.
Less than $30 each robot. And the market leading product at the moment is Lego. So the robots. So Edison is less than $30 each when a class buys 30 of them. So each student can have one each. So they can really interact, work on their own personal project. With the Lego Lego robotics, they're $500. So it's Edison is $30 right for when you buy a class set, and then the Lego the actual Lego brand product. The Lego Mindstorms is $500 a kit.
Oh, I see.
So so that they're really expensive. So $15,000 if a teacher wants to have every student with one. How many public schools have $15,000 to spend on robotics?
Yeah, right. I see.
It becomes.
So your option is $1,500 versus $30 for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So really, it's an educational tool, but not only for a classroom setting, but anywhere. I mean, it's a toy. Yeah. It's a toy that teaches. I mean, this would be just delightful. I'm sure the education community is going to be all over you, all over this. Yep. Everybody will want one in schools, whether it's Australia here or even China. They're going to be after this. And it's just wondering. So why? I mean, are you a kid at heart? Is this where it came from, or where did this come from in your head?
Yeah, well, I like to think myself as a bit of a kid at heart. Absolutely, that's fantastic. But I always loved Lego. When I was a kid, I used to have mountains of the stuff. I couldn't get enough. There was no such thing as too much Lego, and that grew into an obsession with electronics as a kid as well. Become an electronics engineer. And I started selling some robot kits about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Had some success with that, yeah. So and then sort of things went a bit quiet over the sort of global financial crisis period.
I see, right.
So I went out, I got a full-time job during that period, and worked in marketing for 4 years. And picked up a bit about marketing, and unfortunately, fortunately, I was made redundant about 12 months ago. Fortunately,
yes.
That's right. Then I had time to actually work on this guy.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm glad we got you back and away from that company, whoever you were working
that's
with.
Right, yeah.
But at least you
I'm much happier working for myself.
You picked up marketing skills with the orange suit,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You learned that, and the toy looks elegant design for a toy. It's just beautiful designed, and it's going to be available for Christmas, right?
Yeah, that's what we're... Yeah,
so now on Kickstarter, and while you still have a few days left on Kickstarter to get one, for every kid you know, or grown-up, or anybody who even knows how to spell robot should have one of these things.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. And great way to learn more about technology.
Absolutely, because it's going to be all over in our life, and you might as well have something that you could relate to understand how this works. And it's Meet Edison, MEETEDISON.com. Go there now because it's only $30. Yep. You got to get a robot. Well, thank you so much, Brenton, and it's so nice to have you back, in the entrepreneur scene, giving us great products. Talk to you soon.
No worries. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Thanks very much.